we are set for the 185th all-time meeting between Bowling Green men's basketball and Toledo in the Battle of I-75. Welcome into the broadcast here at Savage Arena. Tyler Kavelitz alongside Artie Abrego and Foster Ostai. A special three-man broadcast for a special occasion, the biggest rivalry in the MAC, the first leg of it this season. Bowling Green coming into the game 13-6 overall, 4-3 in conference play. Toledo 10-9 overall, also 4-3 in conference play. Both of these teams are currently tied for 5th in the MAC standings. So guys, first of all, just a little bit of history with this rivalry. Mentioned it's the 185th all-time meeting between the two teams. Toledo leads it 99-85. Bowling Green has won 2 of the past 3, some recent success. But overall, it's been dominated by Toledo in the 21st century. They've won 6 of the past 8 when you take a little larger step back. Todd Kowalczyk has had a ton of success against this Bowling Green team. He is 16-8 against the Falcons as the Toledo head coach. A .667 winning percentage. It is the best against Bowling Green by any Toledo head coach in program history.
I mean, that's all Todd Simon really needs to show his team today. You obviously talk a lot about that record, and I mean, I know what it's like to be on like a one-sided affair of a rivalry, and like that's what you show your players. Like, hey, I know like if we had a lot of recent success lately, you're 2-3 in the last 3 matchups. You've had a lot of success. You won here last season, but you got to keep in mind that you're sort of been the underdog in this rivalry for a long time. That's the feeling you want to bring to this game and to this matchup.
And with bringing that underdog mentality to this matchup, one of the big things playing in the Falcons' favor is that tough defense that they bring. Defense travels, and although it's a 30-minute drive from Bowling Green to Toledo, that defense has got to be on point today. Bowling Green coming in with a great defense. They're going to have to come out and play defense from the tip. Right when that ball's up, defense has to be ready to go.
I mean, averaging 22 points off turnovers. I mean, that's the type of energy you want to bring against Toledo today. You want to push the intensity against the Rockets.
And we'll get a little more into those matchups of the game strategy, but I first want to revisit last year. The first contest in this rivalry was actually way back in 1915. Toledo won that game 16-14. And on the 110th anniversary of the rivalry starting last year, Javante Campbell, a game-winning layup with 1.6 seconds remaining, a huge comeback victory. And when you think about it in a wider lens, that was the first game after Trey Thomas was announced with a broken leg, Bowling Green starting point guard last season. It was really the win that propelled them throughout the rest of the season on that big winning streak at the end of the year to send them into the MAC tournament. But these teams have had a ton of turnover since then. Only 5 returners for Bowling Green, only 3 returners from Toledo from last year's contest. What, if anything, do you think the Falcons or the Rockets can look back on last year and use it for the season?
Well, I mean, I talked to Sam Towns on social media for our In the Paint series we do for Twitter and we do on X, I should say. And he mentioned just how intense that game was and how energetic the bench was when Campbell hit that shot. And you want to kind of carry a little bit of that intensity and that fire that you felt when Campbell scored that shot into this game. And I'm sure Javante Campbell, he's one of the returners. He's telling his teammates all about that and all about like what that game was. And you want to just reiterate, we don't want to get in a dogfight with them today. We want to come out and dominate. We want to come out with intensity. We don't want to get in that situation again.
And you talk about getting down early in games. Against Akron. Akron came out first punch, took a 20-point lead. They jumped on this Falcons lineup. Same thing at Kent State. Kent State has come out and shown that they are going to jump on these lineups. So Bowling Green has to come out ready to go from the tip-off. They cannot let Toledo throw that first punch and then be fighting from their back foot the entire game. From the tip, Bowling Green's got to be ready to go. They got to come out and throw that first punch because when they throw the first punch in games, they have had very good success in MAC play this season.
And you look at this Toledo program as a whole, it's been one of the more consistent in not only the MAC but mid-major college basketball since Todd Kowalczyk got there 16 years ago. Toledo, 6 20-win seasons in the past 8 years, 8 20-win seasons in the past 12 years. They're going to need to do a heck of a lot down the stretch to reach that number again, sitting at 10-9 currently. They are coming off back-to-back losses, most recently against UMass. Their past 2 losses have only been decided by 5 points. They were only outscored by UMass in 1 point each quarter, or each half, I should say. So what do you make of this Toledo team this season? What do you make of the season results up to this point?
I think they're underrated. I mean, you look at a 10-9 record. That may not look super impressive right off the bat, but they're 4-3 against the conference. They have had 2 tough back-to-back losses, but they're averaging 82.7 points per game, shooting 47.9% from the field. They're a team that is pretty young, built on transfers, like we said, but they're a strong team in terms of just being like very just fighting and staying together as a group. And they have that young, youthful energy that you like when you're rebuilding sort of a program through the portal.
And you talk about a youthful player, Leroy Blyden Jr., that youthful player for this Rockets team, one of the top players in the MAC for freshmen, 15.9 points per game. The Michigan Mr. Basketball runner-up last season joins this Toledo Rocket team and compliments Sonny Wilson just amazingly. Both of them going to Detroit Jesuit High School, so a little bit of, high school knowledge of each other and how they'd like to play.
Those will definitely be their 2 top players you're going to want to watch out for, especially in the scoring department. Sonny Wilson, the 3rd-team All-MAC selection last season, and Leroy Blyden Jr., who I think at this point, even if he wasn't able to play a game the rest of the season, would be a lock for the MAC all-freshman team. Looking at this Toledo team, they're an interesting one when you look at the analytics. What would you say are the strengths and weaknesses of the squad that Bowling Green has to watch out for or take advantage of?
I mean, strength is shooting. I mean, they're a pretty good shooting team from the field, averaging, like I said, about around 48% from the field. They're decent at three-point shooting, so I think their strength is definitely shooting and just playing through together as a team. They're averaging also 16.2 assists per game. But the weakness, I feel, is rebounding. They're not a particularly strong rebounding team. They're about the middle of the pack in the MAC. They're averaging about 34.8 rebounds per game. So that's around where BG is with their rebounding number. So they're not terribly strong when it comes to rebounding. So I would look to, you have to win the rebounding battle today if you're Bowling Green.
And I'll go, one of their big strengths is their free throw shooting percentage. 77.6% as a team is 1st in the MAC. Now, the downside with that is they've only shot a 401 free throws this season, ranking down near the bottom. Only a couple teams are in the 300s to pass them. So not getting to the free throw line a lot, this Toledo Rockets roster, but making them when they get to the line is a big plus for any team.
You know, an interesting stat on the free throw shooting for Toledo. Toledo has made 21 more free throws than their opponents have attempted. That is pretty ridiculous. They have 111 more made free throws than their opponents total this season. So we are going to take a break here as we have the national anthem coming up in just a second. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Bowling Green squad, and then we will have starting lineups and tip-off here at Savage Arena, the 185th all-time meeting in the Battle of I-75 between BGSU men's basketball and Toledo. You are listening to it right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
The BGSU volleyball team and head coach Alex Del Piombo have picked up 2 new players from the transfer portal this winter. Molly Beatty comes to BGSU from Central Michigan. Entering her sophomore season, the Indianapolis native played only 16 sets in MAC play for the Chippewas last season, but played well in her first half. Carly Molnow is transferring from Loyola Chicago, where she had 256 kills and was nominated to the Atlantic 10 All-Rookie team. Going into the second season under Coach Del Piombo, the Falcons hope these new transfers will help lighten the blow of losing 3 seniors after last year's 17-15 finish. This has been 60 Seconds and Falcon Athletics.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The BGSU men's basketball team returns to the Stroh Center for a matchup against Buffalo on January 27th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Artie Abrego and Noah Seeley will be on the call, with Nate Hinners and Sam Borg starting things off with the pregame show at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball action, live on Falcon Radio.
Back here at Savage Arena, getting ready for the battle of I-75 between Bowling Green and Toledo. Starters are being introduced. We will give those to you in just a second, but very quickly, we went over to Toledo looking at Bowling Green. They're a team that's found something recently. 2 straight wins, most recently a dominating 72-54 win over Western Michigan. Held Western Michigan to just 1 player in double digits. The defense has been stifling. What have you made of the recent run for Bowling Green? What do you want to see out of this team in the matchup against Toledo?
I think BG's been playing more physical on defense lately. They've been getting up in the people's faces. They've done a better job of forcing turnovers. I mentioned earlier, 22 points off turnovers per game. So they've done a great job in just playing a good physical, attacking defensive style, where they're always looking to create a turnover, get the ball away from Toledo, or from their opponent, I should say. So that's what I'm looking for today out of BG. Little bit of a weakness is that sometimes they get off those slow starts, as you mentioned, Foster. That's a big weakness, but I feel if you're looking at the Falcons today, you got to feel a little bit good going on those 2 wins. That momentum factor is always a huge part.
You're absolutely right, and one of the biggest things for me is Troy Glover. The past 4 games has really found his footing with this Bowling Green roster. 8.8 points, 9 rebounds, with 3.8 of those rebounds being offensive, 2.5 blocks, and 1.3 steals a game over the past 4 games. Troy Glover has found his footing down low, and that's really helped the Falcons' defense dominate as Glover has been protecting the paint at a very high level. But on that flip side, the Falcons shooting, as we've seen on times this season, they have struggled to shoot from behind the arc. Bowling Green, if they're going to want to not only win this game but make big runs in the MAC tournament, they have to find a footing from behind the arc that is just consistent. If they can find one consistent shooting rhythm for the team, that's when they're going to start picking it up.
And then finally, right before we introduce these starting lineups, each of you, if you give me a couple keys to the game, for Falcon 4 keys to the game for both these teams.
For BG, it's pretty simple. You got to create your turnovers. You got to attack on defense. See what you did against Western Michigan. Play smart defensive basketball and force the offense into mistakes when they're attacking. My second one for BG is just play smart and don't play too fast. Get off to a hot start momentum, but don't try to force things and rush things.
And for Toledo, they got to come out and throw that first punch. They can't let Bowling Green get into a rhythm. They can't allow them to find a footing offensively, because when Bowling Green finds that footing offensively, they can really start to pour it on. And then secondly, they got to rebound at a high level. Sean Craig and Austin Parks are going to have their work cut out for them, as with the aforementioned Troy Glover is really starting to figure it out down low. So if Toledo can rebound at a high level and take and throw that first punch, they're going to have a much better chance of winning today.
Starters for Toledo, it's going to be Leroy Blyden Jr., the 6'1", 170 freshman guard from Detroit, Michigan. He'll be joined by Austin Parks, the Ohio State transfer, 6'10", 250 junior center. from St. Mary's, Ohio. Sonny Wilson, the All-MAC third-team selection, 6'1", 175 junior guard from Pontiac, Michigan. Kyle Vanderjagt, 6'4", 220 senior guard from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then rounding out the starting five, you have the forward Sean Craig standing at 6'7", 220 senior forward from Sylvania, Ohio. For Bowling Green, it is going to be Javante Campbell, the senior guard, 6'2", 185 from Muskogee, Oklahoma. He'll be joined by Javon Ruffin, 6'5", 195, senior guard from Phoenix, Arizona. Joining them will be Myar Wool, who has worked his way into the starting lineup, 6'8", 196, junior forward from Raleigh, North Carolina. Sam Towns, 6'9", 200, senior forward from Columbus, Ohio. And then the big man down low, Troy Glover the second, 6'10", 225, senior forward from Wheaton, Illinois. Nice crowd on hand here at Savage Arena. Strike the Savage, the theme for tonight's game. We have a winter's storm incoming, but before then we get a good action basketball game in the best rivalry in the conference.
Absolutely, and Toledo has shown out even with the winter storm upcoming here. The student section is packed, barely an open seat, and Bowling Green has a nice little cohort of fans here on their who made the drive.
Austin Parks, Troy Glover the second, two transfers will tip it off at center court. Glover wins it for Bowling Green. The Falcons start with the ball. They're in their all orange, going right to left across your radio dial. Toledo is in their midnight blues with golden numbering and lettering going left to right. Javante Campbell with it down low, double team, keeps his dribble somehow. Now backing down, spins, puts it up with contact, it goes. He was ready to collect his own offensive rebound, not needed. Javante Campbell puts Bowling Green up 2-0 on the first possession for Bowling Green.
And that's a classic Javante Campbell play. I mean, physicality, backing up against the defender, and sinking the layup for the opening points.
Parks with it, hands it off here. Blyden driving inside, gets it up over two Falcons defenders, does not go. Parks rebounds it, tries to swat it back. It gets caught under the rim of the backboard. It'll be a turnover and Bowling Green ball. And
Parks is going to have a lot of opportunities with offensive rebounds, the way that Blyden and Wilson get downhill and pull Troy Glover off of Parks. So keep an eye on that to happen the rest of this game.
Bowling Green wearing those all oranges. You could call them their alternates. This season they're 5-3 and them 13-15 overall in the 3 years of the Simon era. Javon Ruffin with the ball, left wing. Rocking his white headband, gives it off to Javante Campbell in the neon orange shoes. Swings it right wing to Myar Wool. He makes a move inside, tries to go up and around with a reverse layup, no good. Brought the other way by Blyden. He comes flying in. His layup no good. Rebounded by Parks down low. He puts it up for two. And we're all tied 2-2 here at Savage Arena.
And I mean, just exactly what you mentioned, Foster, with having the opportunities for offensive rebounds. Austin Parks, great job just getting in the paint, grabbing that immediately and sinking those second chance points.
Campbell, Toledo was trying to force him to go to his left, reverted to going to his right. Now working around a Glover screen, top of the key, in the paint. Fakes left layup, goes to the right, no good. Parks good defense down low.
Campbell is going to have plenty of opportunities to get down low. Just going to have to finish those ones as he tips it out, and his first steal of the game.
Tipped out away from Wilson. Campbell the other way, gives it off to Glover, who slams it home with one hand. A tomahawk jam for Troy Glover the second.
And running the court for Glover, no need to. Normally, you wouldn't see a big man run the court like him.
He's just had that intensity lately. He's got a new fire lit under him lately.
Alley-oop to Parks down low, gets it over Glover and Ruffin flying in, takes a second, puts it up. 4-4, 17:45 to play in the first half.
Yeah, BG again, they've got to watch Austin Parks in the paint. I mean, he's just been dominant in there all season.
Campbell gives it off to Wool. He'll pull his first shot, left wing triple, he connects. Myar Wool stays hot from the field. Good to see from Wall, who had just 6 points on 3 for 10 shooting on Tuesday against Western Michigan. Outside of that game, he's been dominant as a starter for Bowling Green. Campbell knocks it out of Parks' hands once again as he was driving into the paint, goes out of bounds, will stay Toledo ball, inbound under the basket.
And Glover with some ultra-aggressive defense out around the three-point arc on Austin Parks.
Very good perimeter defender for his size is Glover. Leroy Blyden Jr. with the ball, working around a screen to his left, gives it off here. Moving inside is Strong. A fadeaway jumper is pure for him. And that was Kyle Vanderjagt instead. My apologies there. Vanderjagt gets the jumper to go. 7-6, Bowling Green leading. Sam Towns with the ball on the outside, gives it off to Wall. Meyer Wall, right wing, gives it off to Campbell, top of the key. Campbell guarded by Sonny Wilson, feeds it to Ruffin. Ruffin into the corner to Towns. Towns driving inside, gets it off to Glover, who slams it home once again. Second dunk of the game for Troy Glover. Bowling Green now up by 3, 9-6, 16:30 to play in the first half.
Almost felt like an identical play there from Troy Glover. Second scores almost the exact same way on the exact same play. Just hand off the ball to Troy Glover for the slam.
Vanderjagt feeds it down low to Parks, guarded by Glover, spins around him and slams it home with 2 hands of his own. So what Glover did on the other end, tried to one-up him. 9-8, Bowling Green's lead down to 1.
And the bigs battling down low early in this game, both making strong moves to get themselves some nice dunks early.
Offense having a lot of success on both sides. 8 for 12 overall combined. The two teams are shooting. Campbell, little step back jumper from the left wing, no good. We do have our first whistle of the game. Looks like it will be a loose ball foul down low. We will see who they assign that to as we hit the under 16 media timeout. It'll be on Toledo, and it will be Austin Parks, his first foul of the game. We hit the media timeout, 15:48 left to play in the first half. Bowling Green 9, Toledo 8. You are listening to the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network is finally back on the road with BGSU hockey. Make sure to catch the voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak, on the call for every BGSU game this season on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Even when the game ends, Falcon Media Sports Network's coverage continues with a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
Austin Parks, the big man for Toledo, is the leading scorer in this game early on. He has 6 points for the Rockets, a perfect 3 for 3 from the field. He's added 2 rebounds and a block, and it's fairly obvious so far that both these teams trying to use the big men down low to find success.
Yeah, I mean, they're just feeding it right now to Glover and to Austin Parks right now. I mean, I can't really blame them. That's a perfect way to play the game right now. I mean, it's hard to stop guys when they stand above about 6'10". It's tough to stop that if you're a defender.
After the foul by Parks, right before we went to the media timeout, it will be Bowling Green ball. Campbell inbounding. Gives it off to Glover, back to Campbell. Campbell guarded by Wilson. Now feeds it up top to Towns. Towns tries to dish it down low to Glover. He just slipped on the floor. Looked like the pass was going to be a little wide for him. Bounce pass down into the paint. Little miscommunication between Glover and Towns. Doesn't help that Glover was sprawled out on the hardwood. Couldn't do anything about that. And they're now going to clean that wet spot. So hopefully it doesn't happen again.
I think Glover was looking for a foul on Olku. So I think he was just may have either slipped or he's claiming he was shoved over.
There's going to be a block by Glover down low, as that was Sean Craig trying to get the shot off in the paint. Campbell takes it the other way. His pass knocked away. That's going to be stolen away. He tries to grab it back. We're going to have a foul on Javante Campbell.
And Toledo doing a good job of really hedging those high ball screens of Troy Glover and Javante Campbell and doubling Campbell very quickly.
It was Jalen Owinga, the one that got the pressure in the tip pass from Javante. Blyden with it, working to the right, guarded by Ruffin, gives it up top. Here's a jumper from Owinga, no good. Off iron, rebounded by Sam Towns in the paint. He gives it off to Campbell. Campbell running, Wilson hits the floor. Back to Towns into the corner for Ruffin. In front of the Toledo bench, launches a triple, rattles out, rebounded by the Rockets.
And that's a great three-point attempt, wide open. Just got to knock those down.
Minor Strong inside, makes Ruffin slide a bit on the fake. It's missed, but rebounded by Owinga down low. His putback is good. Toledo takes the lead 10-9, 14:30 to play in the first half.
And that was just easy for Owinga. Right spot, perfect time. It's an easy tip in underneath the paint.
Campbell, guarded by Sonny Wilson. Gives it off to Sam Towns. Towns just beyond the free throw line. Now feeds it away to Ruffin. Inside to Glover. Spins around. Owinga. Are they going to say he stepped out of bounds or
just gave him a technical.
They got him on a hook. They got Troy Glover on a hook, and then they gave him a tech for slamming the ball down.
Glover, burst of energy. He'll be sent to the bench. Another technical foul, and he'll be out of the game. Shows two personal fouls on the play for Glover, and that's huge. You get the hooking foul and you get the technical foul. So free throws upcoming for Toledo, and Glover will be on the bench presumably for a few minutes with the two personal fouls.
And we talked about, Foster, you talked about him pregame, how big he's been lately. Those 8.8 points per game, those 9 rebounds, that's a huge loss on the court, especially when you have guys like Austin Parks out there for Toledo who've been really dominating inside the paint this game.
Blyden at the line makes the first and misses the second. A great free throw shooter, 85.7% on the season. That's 5th in the MAC. He's made 67 now free throws on the year. That's 7th in the conference. Blyden and Campbell, two of the most prolific free throw shooters in the conference in terms of getting to the line. That's Toledo's MO as Blyden drives inside, gets the layup to go past the long reach of Myra Wolt. 4-point lead now for the Rockets, 13-9. Under 14 minutes to play in the first half. Javante Campbell orchestrating the Bowling Green offense. Plays hot potato with Sam Towns and Myra Wool, now in the hands of Shackelford. Go-in sets a screen, now back to Shackelford left wing. Shackelford drives inside, his layup comes up short. And we had a whistle.
Goaltending. Only reason it came up short, that ball was on the backboard and blocked.
Great burst of energy there by Shackelford on that play. Just kind of explode right through the defense for that layup. He's got some speed, and he's got a pretty nice vertical as well, which you don't always see because he's usually using this offense as an outside shooter.
And that's why he gets those great lanes. They're closing out on him because they know he's a shooter. Sometimes those lanes open right up for him.
The Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Year last season at Flagler. Doing well in his first season at the collegiate level. Campbell pokes it away from Sonny Wilson. Wilson regains control. Driving inside, kicks it out to Minor Strong. Now inside. Tyler O'Deem moving around. That's actually Austin Parks, who gets a little hook shot up, and that goes for 2. So the Toledo lead back out to 4. 15-11, 13 minutes to play in the first half. Campbell brings up the court for Bowling Green once again. Campbell trying to get it to Shackelford. Good defense by Toledo. Now gives it up to Justin Thomas. Thomas working his way back from an injury. Limited action past few games, did not play on Tuesday. Reset to Sam Towns up top for a triple, no good, knocked out of bounds. It will be Toledo ball.
And Bowling Green taking a lot of time to really set up that offense. You'd like to see them get into their offense a little bit quicker and start that play earlier in the shot clock.
Campbell, traditionally a methodical figure, leading the offense for Bowling Green. Now down low to Austin Parks, guarded by Goins, goes up, no good, rebounded by Thomas. Another thing Todd Simon has mentioned, they are a good late shot clock team. He's comfortable with this team late in the shot clock, and they've proven that this season. Sam Towns went up for a mid-range jumper, no good, stolen by Campbell the other way before Toledo could get anything going. Fakes a triple, now drives inside, reverse layup with the right hand. Javante Campbell gets it to go for 2 points. 15-13, Toledo's lead down to 2.
And you can see why Campbell has so many steals, even while getting back on defense, reading the offensive player, jump in the passing lane.
Sonny Wilson, rainbow triple, no good. Taken the other way by Shackelford. Shackelford inside, slips past a couple Toledo defenders. That layup is launched up on top of the backboard. Looks like there was contact down low. I did hear a whistle. It is going to be a Toledo foul, and it will be assigned to, we do not know yet. So we will wait to see who that is assigned to.
Keep it in suspense.
It'll be Vanderjagt. They're going to get Kyler Vanderjagt for it. So we will have free throws coming up for Bowling Green when we come back. 11:45 left to play in the first half at Savage Arena. Toledo leads Bowling Green 15-13. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
This week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week is Meyer Wohl. The junior forward led the team with 25 points in the win over Eastern Michigan on Saturday. The North Carolina native averaged 22.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game while shooting 53.3% from the field and 55.2% on three-pointers in the past 4 games. Wohl had 2 20-plus point games against Lemoyne and Bethany and is 4th in the MAC in three-point percentage with 47.4%. We've got a whole bag of tricks for him and will continue to grow that package of offensive plays for him. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do? Text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Falcon basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network live on Falcon Radio.
The crowd rowdy as ever here at Savage Arena. Some expletive-filled chants toward the Bowling Green team. As usual, always an eventful game when it is hosted here in the Northern School in Northwest Ohio. Shackelford's at the line for 2 free throws, makes the first. Shackelford, a very good free throw shooter, although his average has dipped down below 80% this season, down to 78.1. Double-digit scorer in 7 games this season, makes both from the charity stripe. We're all tied up at 15. Approaching the halfway mark of the first half. Both teams shooting 50% from the field. Toledo 7 for 14, Bowling Green 6 for 12. Blyden with it down low, feeds it to Austin Parks. He is fouled as he goes up for a layup. Austin Parks has been the central figure of this Toledo offense. He's at 8 points on 4 for 5 shooting. He'll go to the line with a chance to become the first player in this game in double-digit scoring.
We're going to get Josiah Shackelford on that foul as well. That'll be his first.
Parks has been on a tear as of late, averaging 13.5 points per game on 61.4% shooting from the field over his past 6 contests.
He's still surprised. I mean, he was a 4-star prospect by ESPN coming out of high school, and he was also played 2 seasons at Ohio State. So he's a guy with a lot of talent, and Todd Kowalczyk You can tell how much he just loves this player because of his size and speed.
He's improved his free throw shooting too, shooting under 70% on the season. Been excellent as of late. Shackelford quickly takes it coast to coast to retie the game at 17 apiece. 11:30 left to play in the first half.
I know we're in the midst of the NFL playoffs, but that was a quarterback-like throw by Justin Thomas to set that play up to Javante Campbell.
Corner three, no good by Kyle Vanderjagt. Campbell comes shot out of a rocket the other end. His layup in transition is good. And Bowling Green back out in front by 2, 19-17, 11 minutes left to play in the first half here at Savage.
And one thing that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, how well Austin Parks is setting these screens for Toledo. These guards are getting plenty of space to operate after a screen from Austin Parks.
Vanderjagt resets, top of the key to Sean Craig, looks for an option, kicks it out to Blyden. His triple falls short, front iron, rebounded by Toledo. Inside is Vanderjagt, and that was a breakdown from the Bowling Green defense. Jump stop, faked the shot, made a Bowling Green defender fly by. Aiden go into the paint, wasn't sure what to do. It was an open look for Vanderjagt, who finished it. Tie game again at 19 apiece this time.
Yeah, that hesitation by Goins in that inside the paint really sealed the shot there for Toledo.
Goins hands it off to Shackelford. Mid-range jumper is pure. A real nice mid-range J by Josiah Shackelford.
Shackelford shooting 49.7% from the field. Not someone you can go under screens on.
Camden Carroll getting ready to check in for Bowling Green at the next dead ball, along with Sonny Wilson for Toledo. Both of them will come in as we get a whistle. It will be a Bowling Green foul against Aiden Goins, his first.
We're giving him a blocking foul.
So he'll go off the floor for Carroll. It'll be Carroll, Thomas, Shackelford, Campbell, and Towns for Bowling Green. For Toledo, Blyden, Parks, Vanderjagt, Craig, and Will James Jr. on hardwood.
And Camden Carroll is going to have a lot on his plate now, down low, guarding Austin Parks, but a double comes with Javante Campbell, tips the ball out of bounds, Falcon ball.
Campbell is being super aggressive on defense right now. We haven't seen this version of Campbell in a few games. He's had steals, but he has not been seeking them like he is right now.
I mean, Campbell, he kind of plays like how a shark operates in the water. He's kind of waiting, and then he attacks, and then he takes the ball away.
Shackelford loses the ball down low, slipped, stripped away. Here comes Will James Jr. the other way, guarded by Campbell. Campbell took a swat, came up with nothing. It's reset to Sonny Wilson. He drives inside, spins. Tough defense by Shackelford, doesn't matter. Wilson wanted a foul, didn't get it, but got 2 points instead, tied up at 21 apiece. Approaching 9 minutes to play in the first half, halfway through the first 20 minutes of action. Javante Campbell moving to his right into the paint, lobs it up for Carroll. Carroll jumps to grab it, doesn't have a shot opportunity. Double team, swatted away by Austin Parks. Here goes Wilson in transition. 2 men to beat, can't do it. Nice defense by Justin Thomas. May have got a hand on it, and it will be Bowling Green ball. Justin Thomas, Javante Campbell, tremendous job of getting back in recovery defense to keep it from 2 fast break points for the Rockets.
And down on the other side, Camden Carroll getting a shot block. That's one of those times where the alley-oop's a little short. In that situation, Camden's got to kick it out for an open three-point shooter.
Yeah, that's a freshman mistake, your first-year player mistake.
Towns hands it off to Shackelford. Deep triple, does not fall. Rebounded by the Rockets. Javante Campbell falls as Toledo brings it through in transition. Blyden flying through the Bowling Green defense for 2 points. Toledo back out and head 23-21. Sam Towns makes a move inside, spinning. Right-hand layup on the left side of the rim goes. Back tied at 23. These teams going back and forth. Heavyweight battle at Savage Arena.
And one of these teams has got to start getting consistent stops on the defensive end, and they'll start to pull away.
Both teams shooting over 50% from the field. Blyden behind the back, step back, jumper does not go. Here comes Javante Campbell, a 5-on-4 for Bowling Green. Gives it off to Justin Thomas, inside to Camden Carroll. Knocked away by Blyden, but he's going to get charged with a shooting foul. So we will hit the under 8 media timeout as the Boo Birds come down from the Toledo faithful here at Savage Arena. 7:50 left to play in the first half. Bowling Green, Toledo all tied up at 23 apiece. Cam DeCaro will have 2 free throws on his way when we get back. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to check out thousands of photos and all the content.
Follow and engage with BG Falcon Media on social media. Find the handle at BG Falcon Media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all sorts of content, including news information, BGSU athletics coverage, and feature stories from across campus. Enjoy specialty content such as full episodes of the local music showcase, Live and Loud. The coverage continues with BG Falcon Media on all major social platforms.
This is Falcon men's basketball coverage live on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Capacity is 7,300 people here at Savage Arena. It's got to be close to 7,000 in attendance. Probably not a sellout, but pretty close to it. Tyler Kavelitz alongside Artie Abrego and Foster Rostai from the Falcon Media Sports Network here with you. Thank you for joining us on this very cold and wintry Saturday afternoon. Winter storm incoming. Hope everyone is staying safe out there. But before we all hunker down for what the meteorologists are saying, we take it with a grain of salt.
Storm of the century.
Big storm coming. Yeah, storm of the century. We get
exploding trees and such.
We get a very good and competitive MAC basketball game here between two bitter rivals, Bowling Green and Toledo. Both teams tied at 23 apiece. What have you guys taken away so far? It's been an offensive battle.
Well, I mean, it feels like there is a storm brewing inside of the Savage Arena. I mean, there's no defense to speak of. It's just back and forth, no defensive play. And the fast-paced offense, I know you've noticed this too, Foster, it's so fast. BG isn't wasting any time when they get the ball back on these inbounds in getting back up the court. They're operating at full speed, full intensity right now on these possessions.
And this fast pace of play, both teams, 1-3 made between both teams. Myra Wool hitting 1-3, going 1-for-1 from behind the arc. So a lot of work inside the arc for both teams to get all these points.
Cam DeCaro at the line. He struggled there this season. Just 7 for 14 at the charity stripe. Misses the first. It's one area of his game that he really has yet to figure out is shooting at the free throw line, especially in hostile environments. This is one of the most hostile in the Mid-American Conference. He splits his pair, goes 1 for 2. Bowling Green in front by 1, 24-23.
Falcons bringing out that small ball lineup that they do like to run with Sam Towns and Myra Wool at the 5 and 4.
It's knocked out of bounds by Shackelford. It'll be Bowling Green ball. The Falcons are active with their hands. They've forced now 5 turnovers. 2 steals and a block for Bowling Green. Javante Campbell guarded by Sonny Wilson, left wing. Gives it to Sam Towns, wide open down low. Towns slams it home with 2 hands. Sam Towns unable to play in both the games between these two teams last season due to injury. That must have felt good for the senior from Columbus.
I mean, talking to him last Thursday, Tyler, he could tell how much this rivalry means to him, how much he knows it means to the community at BG and in the Ohio area. And I think he was just excited to get on the court.
Might get Campbell on a tripping here. They will get Campbell on a tripping, as it was Jalen Owinga driving inside after a dish to him by Austin Parks. Legs got tangled up, so that'll be the second personal foul on Campbell. Something to keep an eye on. Campbell has fouled out of a game this season. Kyler Vanderjack going up strong over Shackelford. No good. Shackelford, good defense, rips the rebound away from him. Shackelford still with the ball. Resets to Sam Towns, back to Shackelford, left wing. Little hesitation, and he traveled.
I think in that situation, Sam Towns has to see who's guarding him. Number 5, Minor Strong is guarding Sam Towns. I think he passes that back and goes straight down into the paint and sets up in the paint as he has a much bigger height advantage on him.
Sonny Wilson with the ball, hands it off to Minor Strong. Strong gets a screen set by Owinga. Now back to Wilson, top of the key. Sonny Wilson just 2 points here in this first half. 6.5 to play. Vanderjagt driving inside, almost goes to the ground. Nice defense by Wool. Now down low to Owinga. Now over to Sean Craig. His floater does not fall. Scramble for the rebound. Campbell comes up with it. Here comes Campbell with the fast break. No one to beat. Campbell goes up and slams it with the left hand.
I mean, terrific zone defense by BG on that play. They were just switching their man the whole time. Great defense and a great one-handed slam by Javante Campbell to cap that off.
5-point advantage. Bowling Green 28-23. The Falcons' largest lead of this game. Owinga with it. There's a mid-range jumper over Sam Towns. A nice mid-range make for Jalen Owinga. Brings it to a 3-point game, 28-25, 5:45 to play in the first half. Pair of Rockets getting ready to check in at the next dead ball. Campbell works around a screen. Goins also going to check in for Bowling Green. The ball knocked out of the hands of Campbell as he went up for a layup. It'll stay Bowling Green ball. And Campbell will actually go to the line. They're going to say a foul on Minor Strong. So Javante Campbell back where he's been so many times this season. Second in the MAC in free throw makes and attempts. 106 for 135 this season. Hits the first. Campbell's been on a tear as of late. His past 5 games averaging 25 points and just under 6 rebounds and 7 assists per game. His steal number has gone down a bit, about 2.5. On the season, he's averaging almost 3.5 steals per game. But he's shot in this recent run almost 51% from the field, and a great sight to see, 38.5% from beyond the arc. Hits both from the line. Bowling Green now up by 5 again, 30-25.
And you talk about steals number going down. He already has 2 steals in this game. 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and 10 points. He's already filling up the stat sheet like he has done in so many games recently.
Austin Parks with it down low, goes up strong over Goins, does not go, gets it on rebound. Nope, stripped away by Myra Wool. Bowling Green ball. Wool trying to go coast to coast, has it knocked away from him. Out of bounds, it'll be Toledo ball. This is really hasn't been a foul-heavy contest, but it is a scrappy one for sure. Officials, my opinion, doing a nice job of letting them play, not blowing the whistle excessively. But both these teams playing a physical brand of basketball, a fast-paced brand of basketball. Sonny Wilson with the rock. Gives it off. Now outside, Kyler Vanderjagt launches a triple. Does not fall. Rebounded by Campbell.
And that's the great way to break a zone. And a good zone by Bowling Green is just to get a wide-open 3. And unfortunately for Toledo, missing it. But threes are going to help get them out of this zone.
Javante, after getting the rebound, flies inside and gets the layup to go for 2 points. He's up to 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And that will force a timeout to be called by the Rockets with 4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining.
And as we're going into this timeout, Sam Towns consoling Myra Wool about that turnover he had down on that opposite side. A veteran presence for this team, helping one of the biggest scoring threats for this Falcons.
Towns is the only player on this Bowling Green team who has been here for 4 years. That's just the state of college basketball nowadays. It's a rare sight to see. Started his career at Ohio University, and he's been through 2 different coaching regimes, the Michael Huger era and stayed for the Todd Simon era in his final year of eligibility, we believe.
Nobody knows
You never know nowadays.
But, I mean, when we talked to Josiah Shackelford after the Michigan State exhibition game, he called Sam Towns the team's leader. And that's how important he is to this team. He really is the leader. I mean, he is the oldest, and he has been here before.
32-25, a 7-point advantage for Bowling Green. Triple launched by Blyden, does not fall from the far side wing, rebounded by the aforementioned Sam Towns. Towns trying to bring it coast to coast, spin move inside the paint, does not go as it's stripped away. Shackelford got the rebound, got blocked from behind by Austin Parks, and there's a tussle for the ball Toledo player hits the ground. That's a winga, and it will be Rockets ball. Falcons foul. They're going to give it to Josiah Shackelford.
And a couple different calls there on the court. One ref calling jump ball, the other calling the foul, the lead ref calling the foul, and leading to Toledo free throw attempts.
They are in the bonus. We should mention that as well. Toledo is.
So it'll be Sean Craig at the line, 78% from the charity stripe this season. He's been excellent in home conference games. The 3 contests at Savage Arena against conference opponents. He's averaging 15 points, 12 rebounds a game on 53% shooting. Does not have a point here today. 0 for 2 from the field, just 1 board. Chance to get on the box score here. It goes off back iron. His first attempt of the 1-and-1.
Little shooter's touch on that free throw, bouncing off the back of the iron and in.
And Bowling Green really jumping ahead in terms of the offensive output over the past few minutes. Up to 60% shooting from the floor. Toledo's falling to 44%.
And we've seen it all season long. When they get these sort of hot streaks and that momentum, they don't really stop for a while. Just got to hope this stays up as Toledo continues to fight back.
Makes both at the line. 32-27. Bowling Green's lead stands at 5. Approaching 4 minutes to play in the first half. Campbell moving to his left, swings it out. Ruffin, right corner, now drives inside the paint. Javon Ruffin keeps his dribble. His layup does not fall. Got twisted a bit going under there. Sonny Wilson, wide open attempt in front of the Bowling Green bench, and he cans it. Big triple by Sonny Wilson makes it a 2-point game, 32-30. Next dead ball will bring us to a media timeout.
And that's Toledo's first 3 of the game.
Goins with it down low, guarded by Austin Parks. Tries to spin around him, trying to get the advantage. Layup does not fall. Terrific defense by Parks. Wilson with the ball, guarded by Campbell. Sonny pulls up, mid-range jumper. Does not go, off front iron. Rebounded by Meyer Wool. Wool gives it off to Towns. Towns top of the key, makes his move inside. It gets stripped away and taken the other way. It's going to be a triple launch by Blyden from the right wing, and he nails it. Leroy Blyden Jr. puts Toledo ahead. 33-32 with 3:14 remaining. Bowling Green will take a timeout. That'll be parlayed into a media timeout. And Savage Arena is on their feet as the Rockets back out ahead as we hit crunch time in the first half. We will take a break with them. Toledo 33, Bowling Green 32. You are listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio. Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs. It's probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Toledo has jumped out in front of Bowling Green as we approach the end of the first half, 33-32. The Rockets lead the orange and brown. Tyler Kablitz alongside Artie Abrego and Foster Ostai, the entire Falcon Media Sports Network beat team on the call for this one. What has Toledo done in the past 2 minutes to get ahead of Bowling Green?
Well, I think it's a collection of Toledo playing strong and BG mistakes. Toledo's done a really good job of just capitalizing on shooting opportunities that have come their way, playing against BG's zone defense. And also BG has made a ton of mistakes in the past couple of minutes. That really bad Javon Ruffin layup, I don't know what he was thinking. And then 2 times BG has been out of position on the defense for easy shots for Toledo.
Oh, and making those shots even easier. Wide open, fast break threes, making Toledo's first 2 threes of the game back-to-back to take the lead.
An 8-0 run for the Rockets over the past 97 seconds. It's going to be added on to most likely here as it's taken away, maybe not. Taken away by Vanderjagt. He's intercepted a Sam Towns pass. Looked like he had a wide open fast break coming. Lost the handle. And it's going to be pounced on by the Falcons. And Bowling Green's going to take a timeout to save the possession. They'll take a 30-second timeout by Todd Simon. Towns is credited with the steal after Vanderjagt got a steal off of his pass. So nice recovery by the senior.
Well, and that pass was just so telegraphed. He catches that ball at the top of the key, turns, looks right at Myar Wool, and before even passing that ball, Vanderjagt jumps that lane and gets that steal.
What do you want to see out of this Bowling Green offense over the final 3 minutes of the first half?
I would say just smarter decision-making for BG. Just smarter defensive decision-making on the defensive end and offensive end. Like that Sam Towns pass was a perfect way to summarize how I feel these last couple minutes of go. It's just so telegraphed. You see it coming right away. It doesn't feel like good basketball. So I like to see just more smarter decision-making from the team and on offensive plays.
And that inside out for Bowling Green. They've been looking to get it down low, but that down low, the Rockets' defense is collapsing. Get those passes quick and pass them back out for a 3.
Javon Ruffin left wing gives it off. Sam Towns top of the key. Now to Myra Wool. Good ball movement. Hand off to Campbell. Campbell on the right wing guarded by Sonny Wilson. Now double team popped out. Campbell regains possession. 2:45 to play in the first half. Shot clock down to 10. Javonte moving his way inside. Finds an open lane. Nice left-handed layup. Absolutely nasty work by Campbell in the paint. Sonny Wilson with it for Toledo. Hands it off to Parks. Parks driving inside, meets Aiden Goins. Nice defense. Goins standing his own. Forces a miss, rebounded by Ruffin. Bowling Green leads by 1, 34-33. Bowling Green going to slow down the offense in the hands of Javonte Campbell. Campbell game leading 14 points. 6 for 8 from the floor. 2 minutes left to play at Savage Arena in the first half. Campbell bounce pass down low to Sam Towns. Spins. He's wide open. No one in front of him. Breakdown down low from the Toledo defense. Towns puts 2 more on the Bowling Green's tally. 36-33.
And that offensive possession, lots of switching for Toledo, left Towns with a mismatch down low, and the Falcons taking advantage of it.
Blyden Jr. driving inside, gets past Campbell. His right-handed scoop layup falls. 36-35. Bowling Green's lead down to 1. 90 seconds to go in the first half. A lot of momentum on the line in this game over these final 80 seconds. Which team can secure it going into the locker room? Campbell gives it off to Ruffin. Ruffin hands it off to Wool. 5 in the shot clock, right wing driving inside. Baseline floater, the right hand. What a shot by Myar Wool. 38-35. Bowling Green back out ahead by 3 after the magic shot by Wool. Wide open lane down low for Sean Craig after the bounce pass to him. 38-37, under a minute to play in the first half. Sonny Wilson with his second assist on the game on that last play. Campbell working around a go-in screen, feeds it up top to Sam Towns. Towns driving inside, whips it to the corner to Ruffin. Ruffin trying to back down the defenders, double teamed, kicks it out. Campbell knocked away. It will be Toledo ball. Campbell was trying to call a kicked ball. Instead, it'll go down as a steal for Toledo, a turnover by Campbell, and it'll be Rockets ball with 29.4 on the clock, trailing by 1 against the Falcons, 38-37. Shot clock is off. Toledo can hold it for the final possession of the half if they do choose. Sonny Wilson with the ball. Wilson surveying his options, down to 10 on the game clock. Hands it off to Craig, who fired an overhead pass down low to Parks. Parks, heavy contact against him. It will be a foul on Aiden Goins, his second. So, Toledo will go to the line for a 1-and-1. It'll be Parks at the line, 8.7 on the clock. Bowling Green leads by 1, 38-37. Shackelford comes into the game for Ruffin. So Campbell, Shackelford, Wall, Towns, Goins on the floor for Bowling Green. Parks, Wilson, Vanderjagt, Craig, and Strong on the hardwood for Toledo. First shot of the 1-and-1 is good. Tie game 38-38. Parks now 3 for 3, apologies, from the line today. Chance to put Toledo up by 1. Bowling Green, as long as they can secure a rebound on a miss or keep control on a make, will have the chance at the final shot of the half. It goes for Parks. 39-38, 1 point Toledo lead. Falcons have 8.7 seconds to go the length of the court and try to get a good look to end the half. Ruffin, Wool, Campbell, Shackelford, Towns, the 5 on the floor for Bowling Green. Toledo showing a full court press look. It's inbounded to Campbell. Campbell past the timeline. Campbell heavily guarded, a whistle at 5.2. It will be a foul on Sonny Wilson. That will be his first personal. So 5.2 on the clock. Inbound coming just beyond the 3-point line on the near side. Ruffin will inbound. Ruffin to Campbell. Campbell with it 4-3, fouled at 3.9. Bowling Green now into the bonus. Will only matter for another foul, so they'll inbound once again. Inbounded to Campbell. Campbell faked the shot. Gonna have to take one now. Step back off the side of the backboard. And Toledo will head to the locker room with a 1-point advantage, 39-38, a highly competitive, high-paced, offensive back and forth half between these two rivals. Toledo gets just the best of Bowling Green in the first 20 minutes, and these two teams will go to the locker room and try to regroup, and we will see what adjustments are made. Before then, we will take a break, come back with a halftime show for you. Toledo 39, Bowling Green 38 at halftime here at Savage Arena. You are listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
Bowling Green women's basketball hosts Akron at the Stroh Center on Wednesday, January 28th at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Trey Kennedy and Carter Leonard will have the call on WBGU 88.1 FM with Sam Borick and PJ Aubrey hosting the pregame, halftime, and postgame show for the matchup starting at 6:35 p.m.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
After a 12-0 start to the season, the best start in over 50 years, the BGSU Falcons swim and dive team saw their first loss of the season on Friday, January 16th against the Ohio Bobcats. For the Falcons, Natalia Mayorga led the team in diving, Caroline Toledo got second in the 1,000-yard freestyle, and Grace Bodrock got second in the 200 butterfly. However, such great performances were not enough from the Falcons to overpower the Bobcats, losing 56 to 244. That was a rough one for us, but OU is a top program in the MAC, head coach Tanner Barton said. The Bobcats finished third in the MAC championship last year. In their next match, a duel versus Marshall and Duquesne, the Falcons saw 2 more losses, dropping 101.5 to 139.5 to Duquesne and 105 to 136 to Marshall. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
BGSU hockey travels to Minnesota to take on the Bemidji State University Beavers on Saturday, January 24th at 7:07 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call, and Holden Ruck and Nathan Burkett will have pregame and postgame shows starting at 6:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. Your home for Falcon hockey.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle, or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Falcon women's track and field heads to the Great Lakes State on Saturday, January 24th at noon to compete in the Bob Parks Memorial, hosted by Eastern Michigan at Bowen Field House in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com for the recap by Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck.
Want to host your own show? Join Falcon Radio.
Let's rumble. All right.
You don't have to pay for gas here at Falcon Radio.
Alrighty then.
And good evening. Welcome to our Falcon Media Sports Network halftime show. Nate Henner, Sam Bork here in the Killeen Center studios for Falcon Radio. Pretty exciting battle of I-75 we've had so far this evening. Toledo barely leading Bowling Green just by 1 point, 39-38, the current score here at the half, and really Bowling Green starting off ahead for quite a bit of it, and then Toledo able to just get that 1 point lead and able to get a slight consistent lead pretty much throughout this whole first half. So coming up here in a few, we'll send things on out to Savage Arena with Artie, Tyler, and Foster to talk more about the game from up in Toledo. But Sam, taking a look at other games going on around the MAC this evening, what else is happening?
Yeah, right now we have a great battle between Kent State and Eastern Michigan, a really unsuspecting game we have so far. The second overtime, double overtime has just tipped off over in Ypsilanti, 71-69. Eastern Michigan is up right now. This would be a huge win for Eastern Michigan. Kent State, one of the top teams in the MAC right now, so we'll keep an eye out on this as second overtime is going right now, but that's one to watch there. So you have that, and then Ball State and Northern Illinois played a little earlier today. Ball State was able to get the win, 5-point win there, 58-53 over Northern Illinois. So Ball State moves to 3-5 in the MAC. Northern Illinois falls to 2-6. Really have been struggling in conference play so far in their last year here, Northern Illinois. So that, and then and coming up in just a few minutes here, we'll have Central Michigan and Western Michigan taking off, a little in-state rivalry action there. That'll be at 6 o'clock p.m., so in just a couple minutes here. Both teams struggling so far in conference play, 1-6. So really, it's going to be an interesting matchup there to see, who comes out there. And then last night we had two games in action. We had Massachusetts and Buffalo. Massachusetts getting a 1-point win over the Bulls, moving them to 4-5 in the MAC, right in the middle of the MAC there. And Buffalo has really struggled so far. They have been collapsing. That is now their 5th straight loss after starting 3-0 in the MAC. So they have moved very far down the conference standings for Buffalo. So, yeah. And then Akron and Ohio played. Akron came out with a commanding 21-point victory, 86-65. We know about Akron. They are one of the top teams in the MAC, right under Miami. Just a very strong team they have there, and obviously Ohio was not able to match up well with them. So that is your action around the conference we have. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out on this Eastern Michigan game and the Central and Western Michigan game, of course, as we kick off this second half between Bowling Green and Toledo.
All right, thanks, Sam. By the way, coming up here at, I believe, 7 o'clock over on WBGU 88.1 FM, hockey back in action. They are taking on Bemidji State up in Minnesota. Puck drop for that at 7:07, so that will be over on WBGU 88.1 FM tonight. So yeah, you can check that out after the Battle of I-75. But speaking of that, time to head on back up to Toledo. By the way, it is very loud up in the Savage Arena. So Tyler, Artie, and Foster up there. We'll see if they can hear me right now. But how is it going up there at the half?
Well, it is quite the rowdy environment here at Savage Arena. Festivities during halftime. And both these teams starting to filter out from the locker rooms. Toledo just now taking the court. The Rockets hold a 1-point advantage over Bowling Green after the first 20 minutes of action, 39-38, despite Bowling Green leading for over 12 minutes of that first half compared to just under 4 minutes of Toledo leading. What are your guys' takeaways from the first 20 minutes of action between these two rivals?
I mean, it's just a lot of fast-paced offense we've seen back and forth. But Toledo, I think they're starting to slow it down a little bit. They're playing a little bit of a slower pace on the offensive end. They're trying to just break down the BG's defense more and more by just running screens, trying to look for open looks, trying to just break down that zone defense. While BG, they're still trying to play a little bit full steam ahead on their offensive game. It isn't working as well as they thought it would, with Toledo's defense a little more set in stone.
And then a big thing for Bowling Green I've seen, the absence of Troy Glover, getting 2 fouls early, 4 points to start the game, only 1 rebound and a block, but it only has 6 minutes of game time played. He's a big part of this Falcons offense and defense, and with him being out there, it takes a big shot blocker off the court for the Falcons.
You know, it's kind of an old school basketball game right now. A lot of transition offense. Not much three-point shots, really none connecting. Just one three-pointer made by Bowling Green, just 2 by Toledo. The teams have only attempted a combined 13 triples. It's been a lot of smash-mouth offense in the paint. 46 of the game's points have been in the paint. You have another additional 12 that have been from the free throw line. So nearly all of the points coming from those ways. Something that stood out to me, a couple of things, looking at the stats at halftime. Bowling Green, just 2 offensive rebounds. Toledo, just 3 offensive rebounds in the first half. Neither team has really been able to get an upper hand down there and capitalize on that. But Toledo does have 6 points off their 3 offensive rebounds. Bowling Green does not have a single second chance point. And then secondly, with the turnovers, the Falcons have turned it over 9 times. They've only forced 6 turnovers by Toledo. Toledo's been excellent at not turning over the ball, but that has been Bowling Green's specialty. Right now at the half, for the team that leads the nation in steals per game at about 11.5, they only have 3.
Yeah, and not being able to get those steals really hampers their offense. Bowling Green loves to get out and run off of those steals, and you saw it a couple times. When they get a steal, they're out, they're running, and they have lanes filled for multiple different opportunities on offense. But with Toledo doing a very good job of protecting the ball, they've kind of kept that offense stagnant for the Falcons, and expect a bit of a step up on the defensive end for the Falcons to try to force some more turnovers and really get out and run.
Definitely, it'll be interesting to see how both the teams adjust. So far, 7 lead changes, 8 ties in the contest. Looking at individual performances, Javante Campbell's the game's leading scorer with 14 points. He also has 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. The other players in double-digit scoring are 2 Rockets. Austin Parks with 12, and Leroy Blyden Jr. with 10. And outside of that, it's been really no other top scorers except maybe Shackelford, who has 8 off the bench for Bowling Green. He's been a spark plug at times for the Falcons. Who would you guys like to see step up on either squad?
I mean, depending on how much he plays in the second half, I would say Troy Glover the second. I mean, it's hard to judge him too much because he did miss so much time due to personal fouls, but you just got to see him play in the second half. He was dominant in the paint early, and you got to see if he can really come away with it and really get some solid minutes in the second half. So on the Falcons side, I'm looking at Troy Glover.
And same for the Falcons. I'm looking at more of Myar Wool. 5 points, 2 of 3 from the field, knocking down the only 3 for the Falcons. I'd like to see the Falcons run a couple more plays for him, get him some offensive looks, because when he gets going, we know that he can just light up offensively and really give this Falcons an extra push that they have looked to. But the Falcons have done a great job of keeping Sonny Wilson out of the game. 5 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from behind the arc. They've taken the highest scorer for this Toledo Rockets team and kept him out of the game early.
This feels like the first game since Wool has started where he has not been fed a ton and where he's kind of been a secondary offensive weapon instead of the primary offensive weapon. Campbell's really he's been dominant on the ball for Bowling Green. We will see if Glover being added back into the mix changes things. We know Simon at times can be hesitant to put guys back in once they get into foul trouble. You'd have to think it's a little different in a rivalry game where you need the big body down low. We will see what Simon's strategy exactly with that is. Overall, Bowling Green shooting 57% from the field, Toledo 47. Difference is Toledo's had 4 more shots. They've also made that extra three-pointer, made an additional free throw at the line. All of that adds up over time. Glover will be on the floor to start the second half for the Falcons. It'll be Bowling Green starting 5 to start the game. Glover, Towns, and then Campbell, Ruffin, and Wall. Starting 5 for Toledo out there as well. Blyden Jr., Parks, Wilson, Vanderjagt, and Craig. Toledo starts the ball, moving right to left across your radio dial. Bowling Green left to right. Blyden Jr. with the ball, left wing, guarded by Ruffin, hands it off to Sonny Wilson. Wilson down low, feeds Austin Parks. He's been the central focus of this Toledo offense as he hits the floor, and Bowling Green fans better hope this is not on Troy Glover the second. It will be on Javante Campbell, and that's Campbell's third. So that's also something to watch out for.
I mean, neither of those options you just said were very good, Tyler. I mean, you got to worry. I mean, 2 more. Javante Campbell's out of the game. Come over Troy Glover. He's also out of the game.
Inbound goes to Blyden. Leroy Blyden Jr. leading all MAC freshmen with 15.9 points per game this season. Gives it off. Deshaun Craig drives inside, misses the layup, rebounded by Towns, and he is fouled on the way down. That'll go against Sean Craig.
And with Troy Glover having those 2 fouls, way to go straight up when jumping, not bring those arms down, not give the refs any opportunity to call a foul on him.
Well, he'll have to be careful the rest of the way out, not to be too aggressive in those situations while still figuring out a way to play solid defense. Wall with the ball, good ball movement beyond the arc for Bowling Green. Finds the hands of Campbell, working around a Glover screen. Looking for a pick and roll. Campbell makes the defender go to the ground. Can't get anything off. It will be a foul on Blyden.
And again, that's just the persistent attack of Javante Campbell. He's always trying to get on the inside, get those points inside the paint.
He's so quick and shifty at doing it. Very tough to read as a defender.
And when you do that, you're going to draw fouls like that. When you're such a physical attacker towards the rim, you're going to draw personal fouls like that from the defense.
Todd Simon has argued that he is also probably leading the country in fouls not called against him. Campbell moving his way inside, double team, kicks out to Ruffin. Ruffin going to launch a triple. He hit that one from Bowling Green.
And that's what you need if you're Bowling Green. Find a couple other players to knock down some threes.
Only the second made 3 today for BG.
Puts Bowling Green back out ahead, 41-39. Blyden passes it off. Sean Craig open triple from the corner, drains it. Back-to-back jacks by each respective team. 42-41, Toledo back out ahead.
Falcons getting a little lost on that zone defense. Craig finding a nice open spot in the corner. Beside another rocket, there were 2 of them there, and just knocking down the open 3.
Campbell going to dish it off the Wall. Wall driving baseline against Parks. Now into the paint, fade away at the MAC logo in the painted area. That falls. Meyer Wall, terrific paint offense. 43-42, Bowling Green ahead once again. 2 minutes gone by in the second half. Craig gives it off, finds the hands of Sonny Wilson. Wilson at the charity stripe, kicks it out. Triple launch by Blyden, does not go, rattles out. Sam Towns grabs the rebound. Towns running the court, trying to go coast to coast. Sam Towns goes up strong with it. Coast to coast for Sam Towns, give him 2 more points. Put Bowling Green back out ahead by 3, 45-42.
Towns with 8 points now, 4 rebounds. He's tied for the team lead with Javante Campbell with both with 4 rebounds.
Blyden Jr. driving inside, kicks it out to Craig. Now to the right wing to Vanderjagt. Top of the key to Sonny Wilson. Wilson spin moving around Ruffin. Gets a floater up over the outreached arm of Glover. Can't fall, rolls off to the right side of the rim. Wool gets the rebound. Ball will find the hands of Javon Ruffin. Ruffin looking to make a move inside against Vanderjagt. Picks up his dribble. Kicks it over near side wing to Meyer Wool. Wool going to go for a spot-up triple. Too strong off back iron. Glover kicks it out for a potential offensive rebound for Bowling Green. Wool couldn't handle it, and it's going to be Toledo ball. They'll take it the other way. Here's an open transition triple look for Sonny Wilson. Airballed it, but there to pick it up was Blyden, so works as a pass. And the freshman puts it in for 2. 45-41, Bowling Green still ahead. 16:40 to play. Campbell chewing down the clock, kicks it over to Wool, left corner. Wool driving inside, reverse layup, hit the rim, gets his own rebound, goes up strong again, was swatted away by Parks. They're going to get a foul on Parks. He can't believe it.
Student section can't believe it either. They are not happy with that last call.
And that will be foul number 2 on Parks. They credited Parks with a block there. Looks like it just hit the rim, but he does get credited with a block. So that is his 4th rejection of the game. Free throw is no good by Glover, who has really struggled at the line this season. 9 for 25 now, under 40%.
Should mention that if Meyerwall misses the second free throw, everyone gets free cookies here at the Savage Arena if you're a Toledo fan. So there's a cookie monster in the student section. That's why they're getting so loud right now.
From Jersey Mike's. Wall's second is good, so no cookies for the students. 46-44, 2-point advantage for Bowling Green. Sonny Wilson brings the ball up the court, gives it to Blyden, now to the corner. Vanderjagt jacks up a triple, and that falls. Toledo's found the three-point success early in the second half.
And that's the second time BG has left someone wide open in that left corner.
Toledo has made as many three-pointers in 4 minutes of the second half as they did in the entire 20 minutes of the first half. Wall was driving inside. It's going to be called a blocking foul against Vanderjagt as he was trying to stay in front of him. And that will bring us to our first media timeout of this second half. Bowling Green trailing now Toledo 47-46, 15:57 left to play here at Savage Arena. You're listening to BGSU men's basketball in the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Check out live updates on X at BG_FMSN.
47-46, Toledo leads Bowling Green. 15:57 left to play here at Savage Arena, the 185th edition of the Battle of I-75 between the Falcons and the Rockets. And Foster, Toledo is nearing getting into very early foul trouble in terms of team fouls early on through just over 4 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, in 4 minutes of play in the second half, they already have 4 personal fouls, bringing them very close to that number of 7 personal fouls in the first half, which would leave Bowling Green in the 1-and-1 situation for the rest of the game. And then it's only 3 more. They hit that 10 mark, that 9th into the 10th. They're going double bonus the rest of the game. That's 2 free throws for the Falcons until the buzzer hits 0.
So 3 more until 1-and-1 start for Bowling Green. Like you said, 3 more after that, and Toledo would be in big trouble down the stretch for any fouls.
Yeah, and that's something to keep an eye on. Bowling Green, if they can continue to get down low and really force fouls, we could have a very different type of game because Bowling Green will be at the free throw line.
Kent State gutting out that win over Eastern Michigan in overtime, by the way, 76-75. As Meyer Wool misses the inbound layup.
Blyden Jr.
is down, face down on the court, holding the top of his head. We're going to get a timeout here on the floor for that. He went down with Wall after it was a highly contested layup after the inbound under the basket.
Starting to get up a little.
He seems to be just holding his head area. This would be a major loss for Toledo. You have to hope that he is okay.
Kowalczyk coming out now to check on his player.
Grabbing over what looks to be one of his eyes. Can only imagine, going up in the air, just getting hit in the eye.
Take that hard fall back onto the court as well. You don't fully have your balance because you're a little bit blinded, of course, because you just got poked in the eye. Again, we are not sure.
Could have got the wind knocked out of him as well.
We don't know what happened, but he was holding his forehead, head area when he was on the court.
Okay, so we're going to get a review looking for extracurricular activity. You would have to assume for a flagrant. we did not exactly see. We have a monitor here to our left. I'm going to try to take a look at it. Wall goes up and under. Not really showing anything of substance to be seen. Not a real good look there from the cameras. We're trying to gain a look at anything that would offer us any sort of insight into what they are trying to look at. Live broadcast currently just showing the Toledo huddle. I don't think anyone really has a great look at anything. As we're going to get another replay here. No foul is what they say after the roll. It's actually friendly fire, it looks like.
Yeah, Blyden goes into the elbow with teammate Owinga, and it hits him right in the forehead.
It looks like he takes two elbows, actually. Vanderjagt and Owinga, both catching him with an elbow.
So, I mean, that's just unlucky on all levels. That, looking back at that play, he's not really near Meyer Wall at all when he's going up for that layup.
So no foul. If they would have called one, it would have been against Toledo on Toledo. So nothing called. It will be Toledo ball inbounding. Owinga gives it off to Wilson. No Blyden on the floor. The trainer talking with him right now on the bench. So that is big to note. Wilson hands it off to Vanderjagt, driving inside, kicks it out, wide open look for three, and Sean Craig drains it. 50-46, Toledo out by 4.
And it's that corner three of them this half already that they found a lot of success with.
The near side corner across the other end of the court from Toledo's bench. Wall dishes it out to the corner to Towns. Towns top of the key to Campbell, knocked away off of Toledo so they can go across the timeline. 5 in the shot clock though, Campbell's got to hurry. 4-3, Campbell inside 2, rejected from behind. Campbell comes up with the ball. It's going to be a travel and it will be Toledo ball. Todd Simon not happy with his players. Bryce Martin has to pull him back to contain him. Todd Simon does not hide his emotions on the sideline for Bowling Green, as Toledo's on a 5-0 run over the past 88 seconds. Sonny Wilson will bring the ball up the floor for the Rockets. Gives it off to Minor Strong. Strong guarded by Ruffin to the left side to Wilson. Still no Blyden out there. Wilson gives it off to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt back to Wilson, left wing. Wilson driving inside, trying to squirm his way into an opening. Kicks it out, wide open look once again for Sean Craig. Couldn't hit it this time. Rebounded by Shackelford. Shackelford, Campbell, Towns, Glover, Ruffin, the 5 out on the floor for Bowling Green. Campbell driving inside, left-handed layup, too strong. Had the look, couldn't finish it. Here comes Wilson the other way. Sonny Wilson kicks it out. Now a wide open triple, Vanderjagt in front of the Toledo bench, airballed it. It's rebounded by Owinga. He couldn't finish it, but there will be a foul down low. It'll be against Sam Towns. That'll be his first.
And on that three, that Vanderjagt 3, he gets a feed from Minor Strong, and Javon Ruffin jumps to defend the 3 from Minor Strong. Minor Strong, a 16.7% three-point attempt shooter. Got to know who you play in there. Allow him to take those shots. If he makes them, he makes them.
Yep.
Don't allow Kyle Vanderjagt, who's a 39.7 three-point shooter, to have them open ones.
Owinga hits the first from the line. Just under 70% clip from the charity stripe this season. Only played 7 total minutes in the 2 games against the Falcons last season. Much more important piece to this thinned-out Toledo roster this year. He hits both from the line, 52-46, 6-point advantage for Toledo. That is the largest of the game for the Rockets. Bowling Green held a 7-point advantage in the first half. Campbell's pass is pickpocketed, taken away. Owinga comes up with it. Toledo a chance for more points off turnovers. Kicked wide open, Sonny Wilson, triple, too strong. Nice closeout defense by Towns, airballed by Wilson. Ruffin gives it off to Campbell in transition. Javante Campbell under the rim, knocked away. He just lost it as he tried to go up. As Campbell now exchanging some words with Sean Craig down low. It appeared Campbell was trying to move. Sean Craig just stood in front of him. They exchanged words for a second before the officials break it up. So it will be Toledo ball after the turnover under the rim by Campbell. And Toledo will bring the ball up. Sean Craig out of the game for Austin Parks. Size added on the floor for the Rockets. Parks tied for the team lead with 12 points along Leroy Blyden Jr., who is back into the game. Owinga down low, little jumper in the paint, no good. Parks already making an impact, offensive rebound. Here's Blyden, triple, no good. Rebounded by Glover. Glover gives it off to Shackelford, who dishes it into Ruffin into the corner. His layup under the rim, no good. Rejected by Parks, his 5th block of the game. Sam Towns in the corner now driving inside. Towns has it knocked away. That's going to be a foul. It will be on Leroy Blyden Jr. Austin Parks, 5 blocks this game. Is a new season high in a game for the 6'10" center. He has been dominant down low on offense and on defense for the Rockets. Campbell inbounds to Shackelford under the rim. Fouled before he get a shot off. That'll be against Minor Strong. And that is now 6 personal fouls. So one more before Bowling Green goes into the single bonus. Campbell with the ball for Bowling Green. Taking his time, 10 on the shot clock. Now moves to the right, still beyond the arc. Now kicks it out to Towns. Towns over to Shackelford. Corner triple in front of the Bowling Green bench. Can't fall, rebounded by Owinga. Sonny Wilson brings it up the floor. Wilson to the corner to Vanderjagt. Now back up top to Wilson. Sonny moving around. Driving inside, trying to find a lane. Squirms his way in. His shot no good. Rebounded by Towns. Towns kicks it off to Ruffin, who launches it up for Glover, who slams it home to finish the alley-oop. His 3rd jam of the game. Back to a 4-point deficit for Bowling Green, 52-48.
And a nice, jolt of energy there for the Falcons. Help to jumpstart this offense.
Owinga with it, just outside the free throw line, gives it off to Minor Strong, who pulls up for a mid-range jumper. 54-48, under 12 to play. Next stoppage will bring us to a media timeout.
Great defense by Shackelford on that last shot. Stayed with him the whole time. Just strong shot, which is much better than that. Good defense.
Campbell drives inside, finds a lane. His first points of the second half, up to 16 on the game. Sonny Wilson with the ball on the other end, guarded by Ruffin. Wilson feeds down low to Owinga, double teamed, flies inside, does not matter. 2 points for Owinga. Toledo back out ahead by 6, 56-50. Ruffin gonna pull up triple top of the key. That goes for Javon Ruffin. 56-53, down to a 3-point deficit. Could have a scoring discrepancy. Live stats say 55-53. The scoreboard says 56-53. So not exactly sure which score is correct at this point. We have 2 different being displayed. That's something to keep an eye on to see if one of them gets corrected, as there's a foul on Glover down low before we head to the media timeout. So we'll figure out which score is the correct one when we come back. But as of now, Toledo, according to the scoreboard in Savage Arena, leads 56-53 over Bowling Green. 10:43 left to play here in Northwest Ohio. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
Bill Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
A light show from the cell phones of all the fans here at Savage Arena as we have had the score corrected. It is 56-53 is the correct score. Not exactly sure what was going on with the live stats there for a second. And also to note, Glover up to 3 personal fouls after the one just before the break. We will see if Simon rolls the dice and keeps him out on the floor. Bowling Green trailing by 3 with 10:43 to go.
I mean, with rolling the dice, you might just have to at this point. I mean, 53-56 games, Toledo up by 3. You might just have to run with it at this point and just kind of play with what you have as you get into later minutes of this half.
And as they exit the media timeout, Troy Glover will take a seat. Aiden Goins will sub in for him.
We'll see how long that lasts for Todd Simon and Bowling Green. Bowling Green, if they can lock up defense late, they are undefeated this season, 11-0, when allowing less than 70 points. That's the number to look at for defense, as Austin Parks unable to jam one home off the inbound. It will stay Toledo ball.
I'm going to say it was last touched by Sam Towns.
Toledo also is 10-2 this season when leading at the 5-minute remaining mark. They're 0-7 when trailing. So 70 points in the 5-minute mark are 2 numbers to keep your eye on as we approach the back half of this game, of the second half, I should say. As Parks works his way inside, tries to get a hook shot off, and he will be fouled. It will be against Aiden Goins, his third. So Goins, the man you brought in to replace Glover, picks up his third foul. It appears he'll stay on the floor, which is a very interesting decision. You would think at this point Simon's strategy is just to wait till about that 5-6 minute mark for when Glover could come in and be impactful in the clutch time minutes of this game. Parks hits both at the line. He's up to 14 points today. Toledo's leading scorer, second leading scorer of the game behind Javante Campbell. 58-53, 5-point advantage to the Rockets. Campbell running downhill with it to the corner for Sam Towns. Towns launches a 3 and nails it. 58-56, just a 2-point game. And we are at the halfway mark of this second half. 10 minutes left to go at Savage Arena. Sonny Wilson hands it off to Blyden. Blyden going to pull up for a triple. No good. Too strong off back iron. Offensive rebound by Sean Craig. Craig gives it off to Leroy Blyden Jr. Apologies, that's Sonny Wilson. Wilson working against Shackelford, drilling a shoulder into him. His spin around fadeaway jumper does not fall, but it will stay Toledo ball, last touched by the Falcons.
And Toledo doing a good job of gang rebounding on that offensive end, getting those second and third chance opportunities here that really can help build the lead.
Wilson inbounds it to Craig. Craig backing down Sam Towns, kicks it out to Wilson beyond the arc, guarded by Ruffin. 10 on the shot clock for Wilson, left wing, now top of the key. Wilson picked up by Sam Towns, gives it over. Sean Craig triple, no good, too strong. Rebounded by Parks. Parks, yet another offensive rebound, kicks it out to Craig, lost it. It's going to be taken away by Campbell, the other end of the floor. Campbell, no one in front of him, puts it in for 2 points, and we're all tied up at 58 apiece.
Great find there by Goins to get that turnover and really find Javante Campbell on that pass. A great job.
Campbell credited with his 3rd steal of the game. Had just 2 steals total in both contests against Toledo last season. It's going to be another foul on Goins. That's going to force Todd Simon to bring Glover back into the game. Goins picks up his 4th personal. He'll jog off the floor. So Glover now out there playing with 3 fouls. Campbell also has 3. Craig with it, driving inside, double teamed, kicks it out to Wilson. Wilson makes a move inside, guarded by Ruffin. Ruffin doing a good job of staying in front of him. Craig with it again in the paint, guarded by Towns. Towns forces a miss at the rim. Ruffin will bring it the other way for Bowling Green. 8.5 minutes to play. All tied up at 58 apiece here at Savage Arena. Set up for another close contest just like last season. On February 21st, Bowling Green came out with the 69-68 victory after the game-winning layup by Javante Campbell with 1.6 seconds remaining. Campbell spins his way inside, banks it in with the layup.
And a lot of contact on that layup. Just getting down low, fighting through it, and making the layup.
20 piece for Javante Campbell. He's added 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Double-double watch for the senior guard. As Sonny Wilson moves inside, blocked away by Glover. I believe they're going to call that goaltending.
They will.
It was on the way down. That is a direct call there.
That was way too late.
That's one of those things where...
Might have been a block back in the Wilt Chamberlain days.
Maybe.
You don't want to see any players get any type of rhythm by seeing the ball go through the hoop. Sometimes you'll take it and just take the goaltending.
Indeed, you will. All tied up at 60 apiece. We've hit the under 8 media timeout. 7:52 left to play at Savage Arena. You're listening to BGSU men's basketball in the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You are tuned into Falcon Media Sports Network basketball coverage on Falcon Radio.
All tied up at 60 apiece between Bowling Green and Toledo. 6:27 left to play in the second half. What have you guys seen as we begin this second half of the second half between these two teams?
Well, BG is just straight up just playing through Javante Campbell now. I mean, he's got 20 points. They're really feeding him inside the paint. Again, he's the leader on the court for this team. He controls pace of the offense, and now they're just going to their best player when they need him the most. I mean, 6:07 left to play. Not a lot of time left. You want to put the ball in your best guy's hands.
And on that Toledo side, offensive rebounding, getting second chance opportunities. Although they haven't capitalized on it yet, as they continue to get more second chance opportunities, those shots will fall, and that can be a big boost for them with 6 minutes left to play.
Austin Parks has 3 offensive rebounds alone for Toledo. He's been a force down low. Bowling Green really hasn't had a consistent answer for him, with Glover being on and off the court the way that he has been throughout the game. It will be Bowling Green ball. Glover, Towns, Campbell, Shackelford, and Ruffin, the 5 on the floor. Campbell, 20 points in the game, 9 for 14 from the floor, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Another strong performance by the senior guard. Drives inside, layup no good. Offensive rebound by Glovers. It gets ripped away by Sonny Wilson. We have a whistle. We're going to get a foul on Wilson. Loose ball foul against him. That will be his second personal.
That'll be sending Glover to the line. Glover, who has struggled from the line, only 37.5% from free throw. Will take a 1-and-1 opportunity here.
9 for 24 at the line this season. Makes it on the first attempt. He'll get another look from the charity stripe. They're still showing the Cookie Monster even though he already made the first one, so they can't get free cookies even as he misses the second one. But Shackelford fighting for the rebound. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Bowling Green. They will keep possession. Nice job of being scrappy down low by the sophomore guard.
Shackelford fighting Austin Parks down low for that type of rebound and getting the Falcons a chance to extend this lead.
Campbell will inbound to the right of the basket, gives it to Shackelford, top of the key, moves inside, kicks it out. Sam Towns dishes top of the key to Campbell. Campbell step back triple, got it to go. Javante with 23, his first triple of the game. 64-60, Bowling Green back out ahead by 4 with 7:20 left to play.
I mean, that's what I said just earlier. Now you just got to put your ball in your best guy's hands, and what a shot by Javante Campbell. A step back three. You don't see that from him very often.
Sean Craig, top of the key to Blyden. Now down low to Austin Parks. Guarded by Glover. Glover standing his ground. He gives it off. It's going to be a miss inside by Vanderjagt. It'll go out of bounds off of Toledo. Bowling Green ball. Chance to build on this 4-point advantage. 7 minutes exactly remaining.
And with 7 minutes remaining, this is crunch time for both teams. Sit in your defenses, really find the best shot you can, and take and make them.
Feels like we're sitting up for a finish like last year when it came down to the absolute wire between these two teams.
Javante Campbell going to launch from way downtown. Javante's on fire. 26 points for Campbell.
What a shot. I mean, that's a heat check if I've ever seen one. I mean, he's got all the momentum in the world and just takes that deep three. What an insane shot by Javante Campbell.
Javante Campbell doing it all for Bowling Green as Blyden Jr. goes the other way. Off the glass. Fadeaway J with the right hand as he was running towards the baseline. 67-62, 5-point advantage for Bowling Green. Campbell going to launch a triple once again. Javante too short off front iron. Heat check there for Campbell as Sonny Wilson will bring it down the floor. Wilson gives it off. Vanderjagt going to launch a three-pointer over Campbell. Does not go. Glover does a nice job of fighting and containing the rebounds. Under 6 minutes to play. Bowling Green leads by 5. 67-62.
And Falcons can take some time off the clock, find a good shot, really let this clock go, and put the pressure on the Rockets' offense.
Campbell driving inside, gets the layup to go through the contest. Javante making everything he takes right now. 28 points, timeout Toledo. 69-62, 7-point advantage Bowling Green.
Javante getting a love from all of his teammates after that. I mean, he scored 9 points in a row. 8 points in a row, I'd say. What a crazy sequence for Javante Campbell.
If you haven't watched Javante Campbell take over a game this season, you are missing out on some of the most entertaining downhill basketball. He goes up and gets some acrobatic shots to fall with no fouls. He is such an energetic player. 28 points, like we've already talked about. 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. He fills up the stat sheet. And if you're a Bowling Green fan or just a college basketball fan, tuning in to watch Javante Campbell is something that you should be doing every game.
And that's the difference. He's added 3-point shooting this season. It's been streaky. He's been finding as of late. Like I said, over the past 6 games, he's shooting almost 40% from deep. He just doesn't take that many shots. He picks and chooses his opportunity. For the season, he's only about 30% from there, but he just got off to a really slow start in that category because he's naturally not a 3-point shooter. Trying to find his rhythm there. But like you said, 8 straight points for Campbell. He has outscored Toledo 8-2 by himself over the past 2 minutes. And we're approaching this 5-minute mark. Bowling Green, barring something crazy, will be leading with 5 minutes to go. Toledo is 0-7 when trailing with 5 minutes remaining. They will be attempting to do something they have not been able to do all season long.
If you're BG, you just got to dig deep, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're Todd Kowalczyk, you're focusing your defense on one man and one man only. Then that goal is to stop Javante Campbell. You cannot let him get hot.
Well, the trouble with that is stepping up and bringing multiple players at Javante Campbell. It's not like he doesn't see the court at a very high level. He's already got 8 assists. If you start to send more recesses at Campbell, he's going to dish it off, and his fellow teammates are going to start knocking down shots. Glover down low. Austin Parks has been sliding over a lot when Campbell gets in the paint. Watch for passes, wrap-around passes down low to Glover and have him throw it down hard.
On the floor for Bowling Green, it will be Campbell, Ruffin, Glover, Towns, and Shackelford. It will be Blyden, Parks, Wilson, Blyden, Wilson, Craig, Uwinga, and Strong. So no Austin Parks on the floor for the Rockets. Strong with it, gives it over to Wilson, far side wing. Brings it top of the key, back to Strong. He'll launch a triple from the near side wing, too short front iron. Kicked out for an offensive rebound by Blyden. Leroy Blyden Jr. flies inside, past Glover. Gets the 2 points to go off glass. 69-64, under 5 minutes to play. Bowling Green still ahead by 5.
You saw Shackelford on the defense on the perimeter, and Blyden just blew right past him. I mean, Shackelford, he's got to set his feet more. He's got to be a little more aware of the speed of Blyden when he's defending him on the perimeter.
Campbell driving inside, whips it out top of the key to Sam Towns. Now fed down low to Glover. Hook shot goes. Nice move by Glover, decisive down in the paint. 71-64, Bowling Green leads. Leroy Blyden Jr. will pull up for a triple, no good. Rebounded by Glover. Here comes Campbell in transition. He'll slow things down for this Bowling Green offense now.
And now with 4:15 left to play, watch for the Falcons to really go through that offense, let some time tick off that clock.
Campbell moving to his right, resets to Towns, top of the key. Towns makes a move inside, kicks it out to Shackelford. He can't save it, went off his hands into the Bowling Green bench. It will be Toledo ball, and that's a big turnover. Bowling Green had a chance to really put this one in the danger zone for the Rockets. Chance to push it to a 9-point game, or even a 10-point game with a triple. Instead, Toledo still within striking range, 71-64. Sonny Wilson with the ball. Kicks it over left side, Blyden. Now to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt top of the key to Wilson. Wilson over to Blyden. Into the corner, now down low to Uwinga. Guarded by Glover, knocked away. Ruffin comes up with it, gives it to Shackelford. Shackelford flies, his layup too strong, didn't take his time. Overshot it with too much power in transition. Leaves an open look for Vanderjagt in the corner, and he delivers on the triple. Big mistake by Shackelford in transition. Toledo makes him pay for it. It's a 4-point game with 3.5 to go, 71-67.
And Shackelford just a little out of control on that fast break opportunity for himself and misses the layup, leading to fast break points for Toledo.
Campbell with the ball, 10 on the shot clock. 3 minutes to play in the game. Makes his move to the right, tries to bounce past it to Sam Towns, cutting from the corner down low. Put it too far out in front of him. Towns couldn't reach it. Turnover by Campbell. Toledo ball, 3 minutes to play. Bowling Green leads by 4, 71-67.
And that play right there, that backdoor cut by Towns, is the right play. Both defenders were looking at Campbell getting down low. That pass just a little too far out. You'd almost want an alley-oop in that situation instead of bounce pass.
Yeah, that was just a bad mistake by Javante Campbell. Just misreading the defense a ton there. And just those small mistakes are starting to build up really now for BG. You can't have mistakes like that when you have so little time left in the game and so little separation between the two teams in terms of points.
We will head to our final media timeout of the contest. When we come back, we'll see if Bowling Green can hang on to the 4-point advantage. You're listening to BGSU men's basketball in the battle of I-75 against Toledo at Savage Arena right here on Falcon Radio.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Hey Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball action, live on Falcon Radio.
71-67, Bowling Green leads Toledo, and we have reached clutch time in this game. Nail-biting time, 3 minutes left to play. Tyler Kavlich alongside Artie Abrego and Foster Ostei from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Great to be with you for this one. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening before the impending ice storm with us. Should have a good finish to this one inside Savage Arena. Bowling Green looking to move to 5-3 in MAC play, as is Toledo. Both these teams knotted up in the conference standings in 5th place. Sonny Wilson will bring the ball up the floor for the Midnight Blue and Gold. Gives it off to Sean Craig, now to Blyden Jr. into the corner to Vanderjagt. Moves into the paint. Fakes a jumper, now takes one short. Tried to kick it out was Parks, but Campbell came up with it. That is rebound number 6 for Campbell. So Javante Campbell, 28 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. Doing absolutely everything for Bowling Green. You can make the case he's the best all-around player in the MAC, and you can even make the case for mid-major basketball, as we are going to have a foul against Toledo.
That's just a bad blocking foul by Sonny Wilson.
So far away from the basket, and Campbell's not even going towards the basket. He's running towards his bench. That type of foul is not something you want to see down the line with 2:26 left to go if you're Toledo.
Especially with a 4-point separation.
You send a very good free throw shooter in Javante Campbell to the line for a 1-and-1. Just under 80% on the season for Campbell, makes the first. He's just outside the top 10 in free throw percentage in the MAC. He's now made with that shot 109 free throws so far this season. He's attempted 138. Campbell misses the second. He'll stick at 29 points. Austin Parks rebounds it. Leroy Blyden Jr., the Michigan Mr. Basketball runner-up from last season, brings it up the floor. It finds Austin Parks down low. Can't get the shot to go over Glover. Rebounded by Towns.
Shackford looks shaken up.
He is shaken up. It will be Bowling Green ball. He seems okay as he gets up. And there's a timeout on the floor. I believe it was taken by Bowling Green. So they took a timeout as Towns was on one leg like on a pogo stick, trying to stick in bounds, trying not to be pushed out of bounds on baseline. Todd Simon took a 30-second timeout to maintain possession.
And you talk about Shackelford hitting the ground hard. He, as we talked about in that pre-game, has a lot of athleticism that we don't see very often, as he takes a lot more threes than he does two. But when it comes to rebounding, he can fly up there and grab them with the best of them.
I mean, he came in flying on that play. He looked like Superman. I mean, he jumped up high to grab that rebound. Fortunately, he did take a hard fall to the court as well, but what a jump.
72-67. Bowling Green leading by 5 points over the Rockets. .209 left to play. I think for the most part, Bowling Green's done a great job of subduing this Toledo crowd. It's loud, but it is not insanely loud to the point where they can't focus compared to what it was last year at this time in the game.
It's not, and they've seen packed arenas cheering against them. Davidson, they went to Manhattan, Kansas to play Kansas State.
Yep.
They went
Michigan State in an exhibition.
Exactly. Dayton in the exhibition was crowded as an
student
A-10
section
game.
was wild.
So they've seen these before. It's nothing they haven't seen.
Bowling Green breaks the full court press. Ruffin to Shackelford to Towns. Now in the hands of Javante Campbell. Under 2 minutes to play at Savage Arena. Campbell with the ball. Top of the key, guarded by Leroy Blyden Jr. 8 on the shot clock. Campbell making his move to the left, kicks it out. Shackelford triple in front of the Bowling Green bench. No good. It is a fight for the rebound. Going to be taken by Toledo. Campbell tried to knock it away. Couldn't do it. Sonny Wilson with the ball, kicks it out. Finds the hands of Craig. His triple is drilled. Just like that, it's a 2-point contest with 85 seconds to play. Towns with the ball off the inbound. Toledo not really playing a full court press. They're going to trust their defense.
And this is a big moment for the Falcons.
70 seconds to go. The student section is loud and rowdy.
There's your intensity, Tyler, that you were hoping for.
That's what Bowling Green is going into right now. Campbell double teamed in the corner, knocked away. There was a whistle. Campbell stepped out of bounds. It's Toledo ball. Campbell double teamed, trapped in the corner. Exactly what Toledo wanted. He stepped out of bounds as he looked to pass it off. And it is Rockets ball with 55.3 on the clock.
And that's a big mistake down the line here for the Falcons.
2-point game, 72-70, Bowling Green leads. Sonny Wilson with the ball. Vanderjagt in the corner, step back triple, has a look. No good, airballs it. Rebounded by Towns. 40 seconds on the clock. Towns crosses the timeline, guarded by Sonny Wilson. Mismatch, he hands it off to Campbell, who's picked up by Blyden Jr.
I'd like to see Towns get down low before that switch just happened and post up.
Under 30 on the clock, 25 now. Campbell, 8 on the shot clock, drives inside, left-handed floater, no good. Rebounded by Shackelford. He fights for the offensive board, knocked away. Timeout called by Bowling Green before he could lose possession. 17.3 on the clock. It stays Bowling Green ball.
And with that offensive rebound by Shackelford, not only is it huge, there's no time left on the clock. This will be a inbounds for the Falcons, and when a Falcon gets it, you're looking for one of your best free throw shooters. Mayor Wolf setting up sub into this game. This has to go to a free throw shooter who can knock these down in the highest level, as this will be a one-on-one opportunity for the Falcons.
And Toledo, you just got to foul quickly, and you got to score fast once you get that ball back. You have to hope BG either misses a free throw, they miss both, or they convert, and you get down and score as fast as you quickly and as fast as you can.
Before the foul, Bowling Green has to make sure they don't lose possession.
Right.
That's the worst case scenario, is a turnover.
That is the biggest thing, getting the ball in and just getting it in safely first before anything else happens on this court.
And we just have to talk about the rebound that Josiah Shackelford got as well. There were 4 defenders around him. Felt like the whole Rockets team was surrounding him. He went up, grabbed the rebound around 3 other players, and got BG possession back. What a job by Josiah Shackelford.
Not only does he rebound it over multiple different Rockets, but he keeps them from grabbing onto it, because in the case of a jump ball, it will go to the Rockets. So coming down with it, protecting it, and Todd getting that timeout taken really is big for the Falcons.
$17.3 on the clock. Bowling Green will have an inbounds as both teams still in their huddles.
The referees are looking at something at the table. I wonder if they're discussing
it could be
how much time is left on
That's
the
what
clock.
I would assume.
I mean, this is going to be a major play for both teams. You're going to make sure you get it right.
Unless they're testing to see if the timeout was called after possession was lost. That'd be an interesting one. I don't think it's that, but you never know.
No, because Shackelford had possession that entire time.
He fell to the ground with the ball still in his hands.
I don't know what they would be reviewing other than time. They are saying it is a play under review, so we will see.
And another big thing, Bowling Green, 0 timeouts left in this second half. So if Toledo does end up tying the game or either taking a lead in the worst case scenario for the Falcons, they have no timeouts. They have to come right down and figure it out.
Toledo's got two left on their end. I would assume one's a 30-second, one's a full. Usually Todd Simon has a few left at the end of the game. He's had to burn a few to save possessions for Bowling Green.
Absolutely.
He's done a great job at managing that. Todd Kowalczyk on the other end has done a great job of saving them for this moment when he might need them.
Yeah, and 2 of them burned in the last 2 minutes here. The save down on the baseline by Sam Towns and now over here. So keeping possessions, but using timeouts.
And you have to be wondering what these teams could be crafting up. Is Todd Simon crafting up a play to potentially do something a little tricky here to burn off time before Toledo can foul them? Because 17.3 is not a ton of time if it's made into a 2-possession game.
Absolutely right. And with Toledo shooting 29.2 from 3, a 2-possession game can feel even larger with their struggles from behind the arc.
We're going to have an answer from the officials here. .2 of a second added to the clock. So after all of that, we go from 17.3 to 17.5.
Oh, and they're putting the shot clock back on. That's the big thing there.
That is a big one right there.
So no fouls here if you're Toledo.
So if you are Toledo now, they can go the foul route, but one would assume that Kowalczyk will trust his defense against Bowling Green here. A chance for Bowling Green to put the dagger in the coffin of the Rockets.
And everything we just said during this timeout, out the window. No, there's time on the clock. That shot clock has 2.8 seconds, as the announcers just said, but not updated in the arena.
I would assume the update is coming soon.
I would
They're not going to start until that is added. We still have an official there.
Yes, there's an official still at the score table. 2 seconds left on the clock. This is going to have to be a quick one.
I mean, you got to wonder who you're going to...
.2, that's not enough. Or, sorry, 2 seconds. Apologize, I was reading that wrong there. But yes, if you were going to look for a jumper, it has to be a quick one.
Got to think it's going to Myar Wall here.
The biggest man on the floor is Sam Towns. It's Towns, Campbell, Wall, Shackelford, and Thomas. Thomas will inbound. Thomas looking for an option, gives it to Wall from the corner. Wall launches the triple, no good off rim. Rebounded by Toledo. Here comes Sonny Wilson in transition. 10 on the clock. A three-pointer launched up by Blyden. He drilled it. Toledo with a 1-point lead. 7.7 to play.
And a timeout taken.
Timeout taken by Toledo. Timeout taken by Toledo. The Rockets have the lead, 73-72, with 7.7 seconds left on the clock. The miss by Wool, the transition triple by Leroy Blyden Jr., the potential MAC freshman of the year.
I mean, there's not a better shot than that from Blyden. I mean, he gets in transition, he gets off the court quickly, and it's the perfect shot. And man, this arena just exploded. Everyone jumped to their feet. What a shot by Blyden Jr.
Bowling Green will have one play to try to win it.
And 7.7 seconds, plenty of time, but I'd like to see where the refs will put the Falcons, because they had that ball inbounded quick. But where are they going to set them? Are they going to set them on this end line, or are they going to be on the far baseline? Because that is going to matter a lot of getting that ball up the court.
And that's what the discussion is right now, I believe.
And if you are Toledo, no matter what the situation, 8.2, so 0.5, 0.5 of a second added onto the clock. That does help Bowling Green. And if you are Toledo, the one thing you have to avoid is a foul.
Absolutely.
Bowling Green can win it at the line. They can tie it at the line.
And a foul.
If you're Todd Simon, you are drawing up your best play here. What do you want to see out of Bowling Green?
I mean, it's got to go to Javante Campbell, but I feel like Toledo's going to expect that right away immediately.
Do we have flashbacks of last February here at Savage Arena? 1.6 seconds left to go. Campbell wins it for Bowling Green.
If there's anybody to do it, it's Javante Campbell.
Campbell sitting on 29 points. He's got 8 assists. He's got 6 rebounds. He's got 3 steals. Will he be a hero for Bowling Green? Will it be someone else? Will Toledo stand strong? Either way, it's been another classic of a battle of I-75.
And it'll be on the baseline, so that timeout taken before Bowling Green inbounds it. And it looks like a full court press here by the Rockets.
On the court right now, it's Towns, Shackelford, Ruffin, Campbell, and Wool. Gotta wonder what BG's gonna run here.
Bowling Green, Sam Towns will inbound it. Campbell with it. 7-6 on the clock. Back to Towns. 5-4. Over to Shackelford. His triple. No good. Rebounded by Wool. He can't get a shot up. Taken by Sonny Wilson. Toledo wins the battle of I-75. 73-72. The defense holds strong on the final play of the game. And they prevent another game winner by Bowling Green here at Savage Arena to come out with the victory in the rivalry.
That one stinks if you're Bowling Green. I mean, had it in your grasp. You had it right there. You had it pretty much almost won, but just down to the final seconds. I mean, what a game by Toledo. They came down in their final seconds, pulled together for the win.
The Toledo student section runs onto the floor and mobs the Toledo Rockets. As that defense held that final possession, Bowling Green did not get a comfortable look. The Shackelford 3 looked rush, and Wool got collapsed on by Midnight Blue and Gold as he hauled down a rebound.
And it almost feels like that Shackelford shot, you will say rushed, wasn't what the Falcons were looking for.
Yeah.
They were looking for something different, and I think that was supposed to go back to Campbell, who was cutting through the paint, and that shot just got up a little quick. Myra Wool, great job of getting that second chance rebound, but he's got to go back up with that while he's in the air. He can't come down with it because the Rockets have been doing a great job of collapsing.
Yeah, the second he got the ball in hand, he just got to look for his teammate. He's got to look for a play. I mean, I understood the situation. You can't always think when you're in those moments. You can't always think clearly because the adrenaline's running through your head, but you just got to get that pass off quicker.
So Toledo wins it 73-72 at Savage Arena. Bowling Green now falls to 13-7, 4-4 in conference play. Their 2-game winning streak is snapped. Toledo advances to 11-9, 5-3 conference play. They snap their 2-game losing streak. We will take a break. When we come back, Artie and Foster, you guys will run the post-game show as I dash off to the press conference. Toledo winners over Bowling Green 73-72 here at Savage Arena. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 between BGSU men's basketball and Toledo on Falcon Radio.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mom was always very organized. But my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Welcome into our Falcon Media Sports Network post-game show. Nate Henners joined by Sam Bork here in the Falcon Radio studio at the Killeen Center. A heartbreaking loss for BGSU fans this evening, a competitive game, but ending with a Falcon loss, 73-72, with Toledo winning this year's Battle of I-75. All right, Sam, we'll toss things on out to Artie Abrego and Foster Rostai up in Toledo at Savage Arena for their post-game commentary and coverage coming up here in a few. But before we get to that, Sam, what else happened around the around the MAC this evening?
Yeah, so obviously you just listened to that Bowling Green Toledo game. Obviously a heartbreaking loss there for Bowling Green, like you said, 73-72. Toledo will move to 4th in the MAC. Bowling Green will move to 5th in the MAC after that loss. The other game going on right now in the MAC is at halftime right now. Western Michigan and Central Michigan are going at it. Western Michigan holding a 4-point lead at the half there, 35-31. So that will be the other game to look out for in the MAC here as the night concludes. Earlier today, just earlier, we had Kent State and Eastern Michigan. We talked about that game going into overtime. Took 2 overtimes, and Kent State was able to escape Ypsilanti with a victory, 76-75. Really great scare there from Eastern Michigan, going at it with one of the top teams in the MAC. So really good stuff out of there in Ypsilanti if you're an Eastern Michigan fan. And then earlier today, Ball State and Northern Illinois played. Ball State was able to come out with a 5-point victory over Northern Illinois, 58-53. So that was the MAC action in today's slate. Obviously, a lot of great games, obviously, like we expect from this conference. And, just another, heartbreaking loss for Bowling Green. So we'll send it out to...
Before we get to that, it is wild today. Both BGSU men's and women's basketball played. Women's was up in UMass today, and they lost by 1 point too. So both men's and women's getting a 1-point loss today. Women's, by the way, UMass defeated the women Falcon basketball team 65-64 again on the men's side today. Toledo defeating Bowling Green 73-72. By the way, coming up or going on right now over on WBGU 88.1 FM. Some Falcon hockey going on over there up in Bemidji State. Last night the Falcons did get a win, so there was a Falcon win over this weekend. So maybe they can turn around how the basketball teams did. So puck drop is just about ready to take place over on WBGU 88.1 for that. After our coverage wraps up over here, you can tune on over to WBGU for some hockey coverage. For now, though, as we start to wrap things up for our basketball coverage, let's hand things on out to Artie Abrego and Foster Rostai up at Savage Arena in Toledo for our post-game show. How's it going up there?
Pretty good, Nate. Obviously, a pretty heartbreaking loss for the Bowling Green Falcons. I mean, had it in their grasp in they were up in almost the final seconds. 17 seconds left in the game. Leroy Blyden Jr. hits a shot with one eye. One of his eyes is swollen above his eyebrow. He hits a perfect shot in transition from the top of the arc for a game-winning shot for the Toledo Rockets, and almost a reverse of what happened last season, Foster, with Javante Campbell being the hero, heading the game winner. Falcons couldn't get this one done here today.
Well, one of the biggest things for the Rockets that they had going for them, 5 different players with 10 or more points. Blyden, Parks, Wilson, Vanderjack, and Craig all scoring in 10 or more points, with Blyden scoring 16 to lead the team. Compare that to the Falcons. Campbell had 29 points. Towns had 11, but there was no other player who scored in double digits. Glover was close with 9. Myra Wool had 8, but Myra Wool, who's been starting and has had some great games, has really struggled today, going 3 for 8 from the field. So there's just a big difference. This Toledo Rockets team very well spread out scoring-wise.
Yeah, they just Wall just couldn't find a shot today. And obviously, the last shot, that wasn't what they were looking for. It's obviously they're looking for something from Javante Campbell, because when you're in those moments, you look for your best player, and just couldn't find him in time. Had to settle for a 3-point shot, which was Shackelford, didn't land, and of course, the end with Meyer Wall couldn't get a shot off. But just a pretty heartbreaking loss for BG. Played an up-and-down game, I would say, for the Falcons. The first half, almost a great half, fell off towards the end. The second half was all right, but teetering in the middle of the second half is where I felt they played very poorly today. Couldn't find any shots to land. They were struggling in their momentum. Were really falling to Toledo today, and I feel like that was one of the tipping points of the game here today.
Absolutely agree with you. In that middle, 5 minutes of the game, Toledo found their rhythm, was able to knock down some big threes, take a lead. Bowling Green swings back, takes the lead, but as the game starts to close, Bowling Green turnovers. They didn't get a good shot off. They couldn't find a rhythm in their offense like they had been doing all game before that, and that gave Toledo great opportunities, and especially on that missed shot before the Blyden three, they had 2 seconds left on the shot clock, so they had to take a quick three, but they did not have any offense rhythm going with them, and that causes a lot of problems down the line.
And I feel like also losing Troy Glover for so long in the first half as well, because due to that technical foul he got early for slamming a basketball into the court, that could have affected him as well. There's so many points in this game where you can look at it and just say, oh, that could have gone different for BG, that could have gone different for BG, this could have gone different for BG, but Toledo just managed to do all the right things at the right time when they could. Even when they were down, they were still building up to taking the lead.
And that's situational basketball that Bowling Green's got to continue to work on. We've talked about it time and time again. Down the line, Toledo had executed in those big moments. Bowling Green had struggled, turnovers on the baseline, just not getting anything to roll for them.
So that's going to do us here tonight from Savage Arena. It's a 73-72 game. Toledo picking up the 1-point win. First, a couple of thank yous I want to send out. First of all, to our board operator, Nate Hinders. Thank you for pushing all the buttons back in the cooling center. And thank you to Sam Bork as well for being on that halftime and post-game show. Thank you guys. Hope you guys are staying warm back there in Bowling Green. Hope you guys are avoiding some snow. As for us, we'll have more content out for Falcon Media Sports Network. Andrew Smith is writing a recap. Andrew Helikowski, we're writing a sideboard story on the game. Henry Costco will be doing video, and those highlights will be available on BG_FMSN and BG Falcon Media Instagram. Also, Coy Withrow will be creating a collection of photos from today's action. And I want to, for myself, Tyler Kavitz, Foster Rosti, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good night, and stay warm, everyone.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.